Good evening, everyone. This is yours truly, J Blue 68. Today is April the 9th, Tuesday, and I just got back from seeing just a little while ago the new version of Stephen King's Pet Sematary. This is going to be a short review, short as possible. Stephen King, of course, is the infamous writer of horror books, and I've been reading Stephen King books for years. I haven't read one in a while, but Stephen King has done several books here, probably in the hundreds now, and many of his books have been tackled by various directors, including Cujo, The Stand, and one of my favorites, The Shining. I don't know the name of the director for this new film, and honestly, after seeing it, I don't care to know the name. I was looking through my roster of Stephen King books, and I couldn't find Pet Sematary. I know I read Pet Sematary years ago, and the movie scared the bejesus out of me. The book scared the bejesus out of me. The book literally had me looking over my corner. Looking over my shoulder, around the corner, because it was that creepy. And anyone who can write that dang going good is definitely a brilliant writer. I did find Stephen King's Dark Half. If you've never read it, it's a very good book. You can see how old this is. Pages. I read this many years ago, probably when I was in my 20s. So The Dark Half. Another good book here is The Stand. Very good book. And they did a movie version of it, which was not even close to half as good as the book was. And very rarely, unfortunately, many movies can actually achieve the level of brilliance and greatness that the books can. And of course, the movie that's currently being done, Stephen King's It. And again, you can see how worn these pages are. I've seen It. The first one is supposed to be done in two films. It's going to be done as duology. The next version, or the second part, comes out, I believe, next year, and when all the kids in the first movie will be adults to tackle Pennywise the clown. Anyway, but back to this movie. This movie stars John Lithgow, and anyone who's familiar with John Lithgow, he's been acting for a long time, and another actor by the name of Jason Clarke. John Lithgow plays as a character Judd, and then Jason Clarke, he's the father of the family in this movie, which I don't know all the actors and actresses' names, but the little girl in the movie, her name is Ellie, and then the boy, whose name is Gage, and then his wife is Rachel, and then there's a cat who's called Church, named after the infamous Winston Churchill. The movie, I don't know. Watching it, I wasn't impressed at all. I rate movies on a scale of 1 to 10. And honestly, you could tell it was filmed on a back lot. It looked very, very artificial. And in today's day and age of technology, to me, if you're not going to do a movie right, especially if it's based off of a book that everyone is familiar with, that people have read, I really suggest just not doing it at all. The acting was pretty solid, I will say. The acting was pretty good, and John Lithgow has been around for a long time. And coincidentally, John Lithgow and the gentleman who played as the father in this movie both played in Planet of the Apes. John Lithgow was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then Jason Clarke, I think that's what I said his name was in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So that was a coincidence. But after reading the book was terrifying, but the movie was very mediocre. It's mediocrity at best. It could have been done better. I think it looked very cheap. I hate to say that. There are Netflix movies that I've seen that are horror movies and suspense movies that look a lot more. They look a lot more grand in terms of being able to tell that they've spent money on the budget, or had a decent budget to spend on the film. They look better than some films that you see on the big screen. And that's been a constant war and battle between a lot of streaming networks and movie theaters, and why people are preferring to stay home because they don't really want to go to a movie to see, a cheap version, a lighthearted version, or just a bad film production. Period. When you can stay home and see something even better. Um, the movie felt like it was kind of a little rushed because there are a lot of things that happen in the book that did not happen on the screen. This is a movie that could have respectively been at least about, if it was done right, at least about close to 3 hours long. They take the time to explain certain things, just to let you know what Pet Cemetery is about, from what I recall about the book, and it wasn't really explained properly in the movie. Pet Cemetery is where people in a township, make believe township called Ludlow, I think that's what it's called, Ludlow, where they take their dead animals who have died by natural death, by accident, or whatever other cause. They take their animals and bury them in a particular part of the city. Um, it's a plot of land where they've designated as a pet cemetery that was once um, occupied by a group of Indians who believed in resurrecting spirits from the dead. This land is possessed by a particular spirit or uh, entity that can actually resurrect dead bodies, or resurrect the dead, uh, particularly for animal lovers. Um, and there are a lot of animals who have been buried out in this particular land or plot of land who've been resurrected, but they don't return the same way that they were once when they were alive. They return in a way where they maybe, they were once, good, and they come back something evil, possessed by a spirit of some sort. But unfortunately, not only have they been resurrecting animals, but also resurrecting people in some cases. And just like the animals, the people don't come back the same. They come back possessed, with a spirit, and actually cross over the spiritual plane. And not only are they possessed by a spirit, but they also can inhabit or inherit the spirits of other people who have been buried in that plot of land. And those spirits can speak through those people to their current loved ones, similar to a seance. Except that they're well, somewhat alive and breathing, almost like The Walking Dead. So the book represents that very well. And again, the book is very, very creepy. If you've ever read it, if you haven't, I suggest you do. Unfortunately, there aren't any more bookstores around where you can go into a bookstore and go pick up a book and buy it. Everything is pretty much online now. You can get Pet Cemetery on Amazon, eBay, or whatever website you choose to go to. But yeah, I just want to, keep this brief as possible. If you want to see the movie just for pastime entertainment, then by all means go see it. But not something I would recommend. Out of a 10, I would probably give it a 3. Um, uh, so that's it. That's all, y'all. Just wanted to let you know, give you my brief review of the movie. If that was even a review at all, uh, go see it if you want to. If you're a Stephen King fan, absolutely. You maybe something else you might see out of it that I didn't. Okay, but that's it. That's all, y'all. Peace, love, and hair grease.